Howdy folks, welcome back to the last episode of Mine Mogul. We're on the home stretch. We've just got the last trophy to get. All quests are completed. No more research to do. At least not at the time of recording. They may add stuff. They did add smart sorters after I had finished up, so those work a lot better now. The little, not sorters, the smart, what are these things called? These things. Smart conveyor toggle thingy. They detect now whether stuff's going through, and they do work a lot more efficiently. So what I've done here to get to the 10 million, that's the last thing we need to do, is buy the last trophy for 10 million. I have an auto miner on every single deposit in the entire mine. And it's all being made into rods. And I'm just chugging through, and we're going to make 10 million. So I'll take you on a little tour. I think this is the final form. I've had to tweak it a few times here and there. But where we're at right now is 2 smelters for gold, and then 1 rod extruder. For both iron and copper, we have 4 smelters and dual rod extruders. And that's mostly holding up. Every once in a while there's a little bit of a jam, because as you can see, we're pretty tight on space in here. But it is quite the operation. But I think at this final form we're in pretty good shape. It's been running for a while, and it all seems to be working. So we'll go take a tour here, but I do have a bypass for each one, so I can turn the ore off to the smelters, because I kept having to tweak what's happening with the ingots. So I did put in bypasses. But basically, I've got 3 of the bulk sorters feeding into a crusher per ore type. And like I said, I've got 4 smelters for both iron and copper. And then 2 for gold. And that seems to be working. So I've got all this stuff. It's really hard to jump up here. I've got all this stuff coming in from that direction. Mostly copper, but with a little bit of iron. That goes into this bulk sorter, so we're getting coal, iron, copper. I should say coal and jewels. Diamonds and gems. Coming in there. Hidden back over in here, I've got a bulk sorter. This is mostly gold, but a decent amount of iron as well. So it's getting sorted. Again, coal and gems and diamonds, and then we got gold and iron. That's all coming into there. And I had to use a lot of verticality to make this all work. It means it's a little hard to get jumping around. And then from this side, we've got this iron here. We've got a little bit of iron from other parts of the mine. That's coming into here. And we have, again, coal, diamonds, and gems. And we've got copper, and we've got iron. And those are all hooked together. These three streams are the combined output of all 3 bulk sorters. All the coal goes through the single shaker table, which seems to be holding its own. It's never overloaded. It's been doing just fine. And then we've got copper. So copper is going into its ore crusher. Goes out and gets sorted into the 4 different smelters. And then the same with the iron. Iron comes over into its ore crusher. It goes up and around, and it gets sorted into its 4 smelters. And these new smart conveyor toggles work much better. So no more real problems with imbalance. And that seems to be working all right. And then each one just polishes ingots and sends it through 1 or 2 rod extruders. So we'll go on a little tour of the mine. It's basically just everything has an auto miner on it, I think. I've thought that 2 or 3 times, and I found a little nook or cranny that I hadn't hooked up. But I think everything is hooked up now. We'll just run through the whole mine here real quick. So we got this room here, mostly copper, but there is one of these is iron. This one's iron. I thought about doing ingots back in various rooms, but I kind of wanted the challenge of dealing with all the ore, so that's why I went that way. There's no right or wrong way to set up your mine. It's pretty open-ended. So we got that coming through there. Let's sneak back into here, this little room. Got some iron, a little bit of gold coming out of here. Everything has an auto miner on it. And then that sneaks through this passage. And it drops down. I had to get a little fancy. I tried to first having it shoot. But it just didn't work as well. It was just having it fall down some conveyors. So I ended up going with just conveyors. That falls down to there. It joins in this line, which is coming out of this room. Got all these auto miners here. This is mostly gold coming out of here, but a little bit of iron. Of course, coal everywhere. Like that one is just coal. That one I think is yeah, iron and coal. That's all going that way and joining up with the line. Back in here, we've got a lot of gold. This is all gold and coal heading in. Goes over there to the, you can just see the top of the bulk sorter over there. So this is all coming in from here. Mostly gold and coal. And then primarily copper over in the glowy room. There's a little bit of iron also as well. So that has a ton of copper. It's really crazy how much copper there is back in here. It's pretty much a solid conveyor all the time. So yeah, all iron, or sorry, all copper, more copper. It's just all copper all the time. It just keeps pumping it out. Thought about sneaking through here. But since this is mostly gold, I'm kind of keeping them somewhat separate. So the bulk sorters can be set up the way they are. There is some iron coming in here and there on this guy. But I do believe I have an auto miner on every single spot. I don't think I've missed any. I've been over the mine quite a few times now. I think it is all good to go. This is a very full line. And of course we got the little room here that's dropping down through the chute. There's just 2 miners up in here. It drops down the chute. Kind of like it did before. It just gets angled now. Sneak back out through here. I always see that green grass and think it's copper laying there. Yeah, then we just come over here to the bulk sorters. There's the chutes coming down. I use an angle chute to pop it out onto a conveyor belt. And this mostly works. Looks like we got a little bit of hang up here and there. I just added extensions on the back of here. There was some copper and coal falling out the back, so I put a little extensions there just so it's got a little more room to fall. I did the same where I could on the gold bulk sorter. This system seems to work pretty well. We'll see. I went ahead and used wall conveyors here out to the ore crushers, just because they can get pretty tall. Now I just heard a bulk sorter do its noise. That means it got overloaded. So somewhere we may end up with a slag ingot. I'm not sure which bulk sorter that was. But for the most part, this just chugs along and it works fine. If we see a slag ingot show up, we'll know that that got some junk in it at some point. Now, I think the iron and the copper would be good with 3 smelters. But with the conveyor tech we have, it's easier to just do 4. And then it more than keeps up with 4. Yep, there's some slag ingots. It's a little ka-chunk sound you heard. That means the bulk sorter got overloaded. It's the first time I've actually seen that since I did the final form, but... So I should probably... Yeah, I should put a basket there. So even now, we have to do a little bit of tweaking. So let's cut that off, and we'll do some work down here. So I'm going to need a basket. I've sold most of my stuff. So let's go ahead and get a basket. And then, did the slag ingot make it through? I was going to grab one of those. Okay, well, let's get a basket in here, and then I can grab a slag ingot at some point. So, we want a sorting basket, sorter conveyor, and a basket lid, I guess is what it's called. may end up having to do this on each one, but what we'll do is we'll pull this out, and we're going to put a basket there, and then we're going to stick the polisher back on. Like that, and then we'll just have this slack ingot pop out. Alright, we'll turn you back on, and I will grab a piece of copper, just so we can get a slag ingot to use for the basket. Stick you in there. There we go. And then when I have the basket set the way I like, I do like putting the lid on just so it keeps everything out of it. There we go, a little tweak, and then of course that would need to go get sold, so we can bring that over like this. Go up. Nope, I don't like that. We're going to go over. We'll see how this looks. Actually, we don't have to go up. We can just go over and then plop it in there. And if I have issues with the others, I can do the same. I do have room for copper. I can move that and then somehow get the slag ingot out of here. It's getting a little convoluted, to say the least. But it's working. That's the main thing. Chugging along. We're up over 4 million now, so I just need to let it run. And we'll see how we get along. Had a little bit of a escapee there. Throw that down. Not sure if that was from me doing stuff or just kind of fell out. So we'll just watch it flow for a bit and see if we have any other problems. Sorry about that. I accidentally bumped the mouse. I don't have my green screen up, but oh, where's my camera? There it is. I'm eating some pecans. My mother-in-law got me a big old jar of pecans. Good. I was moving that and I bumped the mouse. I'm actually recording this the day after Christmas. Seems to be working well. I'm just going to let this run, and we'll end the video with buying the last trophy. That's the plan. We'll see. It might be tomorrow or it might be next week by the time I get around to recording the end. But for you, it'll be a quick transition, so I'll see you on the other side. Well, looky there. We passed the 10 million mark. Pretty darn cool. It took forever. It's after midnight. I should be sleeping right now. Trying to get this video finished up before I head out of town. Yeah. I just cranked out rods. I left this run for most of the day. I just sat here and did stuff. Occasionally I had little foul ups here and there where some stuff overflowed, but you know, for the most part, it worked. I cleaned up stuff every once in a while. It could have been better. I know pipes are worth a little more, but I didn't think it was really worth the effort. It takes so much more real estate to make the pipes. Rods were just fine. We have, yeah, I think this pretty much solved this overflow. Oh, never mind. Still a little bit of overflow, but hey, it worked. Let's put this series to bed. Let's go buy the last trophy. So I have coal, copper, iron, and gold. I just need to buy this one. We're down to 13,000 again. Oh my goodness. So much money. Wow. Just wanted to pick it up. Oh, don't put your trophies by the hat. I found out that it resets the hat's position every time you load the game. And my trophies went everywhere. I picked them up. I want to get this. I get this stood up on the table. I got to get a screenshot of it. Come on, game. I want to go to bed. It's late. I got to get up in less than 7 hours. And drive 3 hours. Come on, game. When it comes to this kind of stuff, I wish you could just kind of pick it up and place it. It's a little bit of a pain. Alright. Set there, and then we can kind of slowly drag it around by the base. Alright, I'm going to call that a win. Here we go. Screenshot. Hope you enjoyed the series. I had a ton of fun with this game. There's a lot more you can do with it. You can always optimize and change things up and try different experiments. I had a good comment on one of the videos that I should just dump everything in this main room and see how many objects it takes before my computer melts. That sounds like fun. I might have to try that. We'll see. But just with like general running, like with the plant running, it's around 2,000 objects. And there's no problem with that, of course. That does sound like a fun experiment, but I need to head off to bed. I'm going to get this video rendering, try to get it uploaded so it'll be out Monday. Hope you had a good new year, and I'll catch you in the next adventure. Take care.